And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to day 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take 44.
Yeah, that's exactly game 3. Cancon, world's largest Age of Sigmar event right here in Canberra, Australia.
Yeah.
It was a pretty balmy 41 degrees from War Dollies yesterday. Today, a little bit better.
Yeah, we had a cracking thunderstorm last night.
Oh, mate, split the sky like bum cheeks over a toilet. So it was a pretty big one. A massive 200 War Dolly fanatics fighting it out. And yesterday we brought you a few different games from around the tournament, but today we will be focusing on those top tables, right?
Yeah. We're at the pointy end of the tournament.
Yeah.
So we're going to look at that point. So.
And you know what? What did we find when we looked for the pointy end of the tournament for this game round 1 game? What did we find?
We found dwarves.
We found dwarves.
The Dwarden.
Yep, how unexpected. So we're bringing you an awesome game. We will talk about that real soon. Thank you to all the subscribers and Patreon members.
Yeah.
You're bloody legends. We love you, and that's the only reason that this show
all
exists.
Of us, that's fucking
It's the
right.
people's show here for you, so lovely to have you with us. Now, Rob is dead. He just collapsed in on himself like a dying star in the heat. So we threw him outside in the storm to soak up a bit more moisture, and a kangaroo killed him. So it's the Australian wildlife has just been very, very
Brutal.
thorough.
It's been brutal.
Been savage. Magpies, kangaroos, just the whole damn lot. So we will be back. We'll have a bit of a chat about what we've got today.
Yeah.
It's massive. There's a lot of people with their game faces on, so it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I mean, obviously today's the day that it gets decided, so...
Yeah. Well, it's either game faces though, or like I know that there's a few people who went pretty hard last night.
They've got some other sorts of really droopy faces.
We were minorly concerned that one of the players for this first game might not show up because his exploits last night were apparently quite legendary. But before we get into the game, you know the man that you want to see. He downloaded a new program for you today just to make him a little bit harder to find. The man with the gorgeous, gorgeous stylings, and literally last night, half the conversations I had with people after the event were about how beautiful he is. You know who it is. It's Dan from AOS Shorts. Dan, we're going right to you right now.
Hey guys, thank you very much. Good to see you back for day 2. So we are the day. This is round 4. This is the moving round. This is where the guys that want to make the play for the top tables and for the win will be pushing hard for those points and for that victory and to maintain that momentum from day 1. So what I'm here for is a quick rundown of what our top 10 tables are before we go over to the game. So the top table is Dave Kerr with his Idenith Deepkin against Alex with his KO. Those are the dwarfs that we have found for table 1. On table 2 we have Eddie McMichael with his Daughters of Cain list. That was the list that beat Sam Morgan in the last round. It's the Daughters of Cain Snake list against James Morehouse with his Phoenix Temple. So we'll see how the weight of attacks of the Daughters of Cain go against the irresistible force of the highly mobile Phoenixes of the Phoenix Temple in that game. Round 3, we have the first of our mirror matches, which are in the top 10 tables. Table 3 is the Winterleaf mirror match between Lee Wilmot and Liam Burnett Blue. So that's an interesting matchup. We're going to see how the two Winterleafs go off against each other. We have on one side Lee's running Alariel and Eels versus Liam's Durthu. So it's quite a couple of nice differences there between the two Winterleaf lists. On table 4, we have Matt Tyrrell with his Legion of Blood against Matt Campbell with his Gore Pilgrims list. On table 5, we have Nick Gentili with his Daughters of Cain, large numbers of bodies of Witch Elves list versus Ryan. You may have remembered I had an interview with Ryan in round 3 with his Warherds list. So we'll see how those Daughters of Cain can slice up those Warherds. Table 6, we've got Sean Bates with his Anvils of Heldenhammer versus Ash McEwen with his Nighthorn. Going to be interesting to see how that goes. In the Realmscape feature for this round is the increasing rend for shots over a certain distance. So there are going to be a lot of shots going there, but not much use against Nighthorn. They don't care about the rend. Table 7, we have Ben Camden Smith with his Maggotkin of Nurgle versus Brod with his Maggotkin of Nurgle. So another of the mirror matchups. That's a Thricefold battalion, Thricefold Befoulment battalion versus the mixed Nurgle of the Puscoils and Plague Bearers. On table 8, we have Michael Thompson with his Grand Host and Nagash and Paul Grixty, 3-0 with his Swift Hawk Agents. So Paul has been rewarded for his exploits on day 1 with Nagash and 50 Reapers. So we will have to see how the Swifthawks go against that challenge. We've written them off before. Can he take over the Master of Death and 50 Reapers? We will see. Table 9 is the last of the mirror matchups for the top 10. That is the Legion of Asgore mirror matchup between Tim Neal and Rhys Griffin. So that's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Kadai on both sides, War Machines on both sides. We'll see how that goes. And table 10, we have Adam Burt with his Stormcast Eternals. He's already only had a minor win and dropped to secondary. So Adam's going to be pushing it very hard and unlikely to be in contention, but he's in round 10. He's playing against Dan Brewer's Buybuster list because of a dropout overnight, unfortunately. But so those are the top 10 tables. That is what we're going to look for. That's what I'm going to keep you updated on across the round. Now we're going to be in a position where we can go across to the top table and you can see how Dave and Alex are going to go in this top table. Cheers, guys.
So welcome back to Cancon.
Ooh, Cancon 2019. Call to Glory, post-title Aftermath, because Clint loves to give all of his events here a badass title. He is the OG of Age of Sigmar in Australia, and he doesn't go with GT or anything like that. He finds something cinematic. So, so we've gone into the first turn. Just to catch you up, we will go through the lists very shortly, but we just didn't want to miss anything early on. So the Cancon Overlord, Kron, got to choose who he wanted to go first. He made Dave the Master Kerr, currently the Australian Master, winner of the Australian Masters last year, go first. And so we're just going to quickly bring you this movement phase, and then we'll jump into the lists. So Nathan now turning his microphone on so that you can hear him as well.
First time that's ever happened in my whole life.
Yeah, mate. You've got such good microphone discipline usually.
So it's the first time I've ever turned my microphone on. So yeah, he's given first turn, and I think that was the right choice.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
They've both got deep striking units, have they? He's got, no, I don't think the Eels have not got the deep striking, but they've got the speed.
They do.
So
it's also it's a big one that you don't really want to go first on, because you'd much rather force your opponent to have to defend,
to expose,
to stop you, and to stop you. Yeah, force your opponent to overcommit so that you don't get the 3 points.
I mean, this is a classic thing where the objective is the bait.
Yeah.
And it's not a very useful piece of bait because it's only worth 1 point in that first turn of the round. And then the bait is going to draw your opponent's army into the center, which is just a killing field.
Oh, yeah.
So both of these armies have the ability to inflict a tremendous amount of damage at a decent range in that center field. So nobody really wants to go and present themselves to their opponent.
No.
But if you want to get the gold, you've got to be there in the middle. And so it's a case of, if you can ask your opponent, please present yourself on a plate in front of me, you're going to take the opportunity, aren't you? So
and now, sorry, just to update you on deployment as well, Kron is playing Barak Zilfin, which means he has a frigate in the sky. That frigate has 14 Thunderers and an Ether Chemist in it.
Yeah, so what's cool about that is he's purposely taken an understrength unit of Thunderers. So they come in 5s, should be 15, but he's dropped a Thunderer so he can put that Chemist in there.
Yeah.
Because the Chemist is such a useful buff piece for the Cancon Overlords.
Now, but Dave does obviously have a hard counter to that, which you can see he's really wrapping his units up with those 3 10s of Thralls to force, even if those units come down and have a shot, to force them to target the closest unit.
Somebody's got to wipe out the screen before they can start shooting the juicy stuff behind. But I think the Cancons have got that because they've got the range on those Arcanaut at the back. Have got the
sky pipe.
The sky pipe.
Sky hooks, sorry, the light sky hooks.
The light sky hooks, which are devastating, particularly against things like the Eidolons, which are heroes. So if you can drop down, clear that screen either with the Skyhawks or the Thunderers, and then let loose into the juicy stuff behind with the other unit that's not being used. Or the frigate might be able to put a hole.
That's true. Frigate could do a fair chunk of damage.
Yeah,
Now, the bad news for Mr. Dave the Master Kerr is that the Realmscape feature is flaming missiles, which means that they're pulling out a chunky little bit of extra rend for shots that are taken from further away.
Here comes that frigate.
So we've gone through turn 1 for Dave the Master Kerr. We're now into turn 1 for the Cadron Overlords, and of course the frigate dropping. Nath, let me ask you a little question. Where would you have put that frigate? Because as a fellow dwarf player, I'm not entirely sure that's where I would have done it.
So I think Kron has. I think Kron has obviously decided that the eels are the main threat in his opponent's army. So that looks like where he's going for. So where would I have gone?
So it looks like he's landed the boat and he's piling out all of those Grunstock Thunderers.
Yeah. So do you want to do that?
Yeah, we'll go over to our on-table camera just to give you a close-up. We're going over to it. You have a cheeky little look at what we got. Now, as you can see, we've got some KO. Now, that piece of terrain is mystical. So they have themselves a wonderful little place to chill out with that save. Some evocators in there as well.
Yeah.
This is the full artillery death line. Evocators backed up by a big old 40.
Yeah, look at all those sky pikes in a row there. So he's looking at evocators, flicking over to look at the...
Crossing over. Yeah, this is obviously the
Master's Knees,
yeah,
and some Thunderers that are being placed. Then there's his eels, some Thralls, and
that Knight Incantor at the top. Now, that Knight Incantor I think is actually quite a clever place, because it's either going to force Kron to target him to kill the Knight Incantor, or she's worth 20 models on the objective, making it real hard for him to actually score it.
I don't know if Kron's going to be able to score that objective this turn.
No.
I don't think. So I think he's. I think he's just decided that that the
he'd kill his opponent and then take the gold once everybody's dead.
Concentrate on thinning out those smelly elves.
Yeah.
Them fishy elves, and then think about consolidating his gold stocks.
Yeah.
So
now, super quickly, we're going to flick over to the lists.
Yeah.
You can check them out yourself, but we're going to have a quick run through them. Though I do apologise, it might be quick because we don't want to waste any time and lose out on catching up all of the stuff in the game. So first up, we're going to go with Dave the Master Kerr. He's rocking Volturnus, High King of the Deep as the general, obviously for the extended range on that command ability.
Yeah.
He's got an extra 6-inch bubble, to 18 inches for his, where usual King of the Deep, I think they're just a 12-inch bubble. 2 Eidolons,
Aspects of the Storm,
which is they're the ones that like to retreat and charge at you again, retreat and charge at you because they heal every time they do.
Yeah, they're pretty fighty. Like, they're the more fighty of the two, aren't they?
Yeah. One of which has the Gildebane, so he's probably going to be the one that I'm guessing is the most bubble wrapped. And then of course a Knight Incantor. 6 more Sargard because he wanted the punchy eels, not the shieldy eels.
Yeah, they're sweet, aren't they?
I don't know if that's going to be a good or a bad call for this game because they might have been a little bit more useful if they were ignoring Rend.
Yeah.
3 10s of Thralls. Thralls are no slouches in combat.
They're Thralls
pretty
are pretty impressive for their points, especially I would have thought.
Extra attacks when they go against things with 1 wound, extra damage when they go against things with multi-wounds.
Yeah.
They're actually really good generalists, and also the fact that the Master's wrapped up everything in his army with them means that they're going to die, but they're going to take a lot of that shooting and kind of blunt the teeth of that Catron for this
they
turn.
are sort of, they're the expendable units, but if you don't deal with them and they get into you, they can be pretty painful. So you can't just ignore them.
No. Especially Caradron with only a 5-up save on the majority of their models, and 1 wound for everything. That's real tough on them. And then the Geminids, of course, is the endless spells. They're possibly the most.
Yeah, I think they're the most common spell, aren't they?
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that, for their points,
Definitely.
for what they do.
Yeah.
They are gold.
Send off in the chat what you think about the endless spells as well. Like, we saw Geminids everywhere at the start of AOS 2.0. Then they got a little bit of an FAQ, a little bit of a nerf, I guess, and people stopped taking them. Now they've started to come back again, which is awesome. I still think they're the most underpointed of the endless spells because they are just baller for their ability to put 2d3 mortal wounds and all those negs. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, they're quite possibly the best of all the endless spells.
Yeah. So we'll flick over to the list that we much prefer to talk about, because pansy little elves, we don't need them. No, with their pointy ears and their
funny fishy smells.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they smell like 3-day-old salmon that's been left out in the sun, because we are in Australia and everything smells like fish that's been left out in the sun. So let's have a quick cheeky look at those big, beautiful KO beards.
Yeah.
They got beards, they're covered in metal, but they're still beards. So the only heroes are 2 ether chemists. Now I'm guessing that this list must have been submitted before the command trait was attached to the list. So we'll find out what the command trait is for the general from the table.
Yeah, the command trait, and then the other eighth chemist, not the general one, has got the eighth shot ear buster.
Yep.
Just a beautiful piece of equipment.
Mate, especially when you've got 2d6 shots, you do 1 wound, or whatever, you force them to take a battle shock test, then you make them do it again in the battle shock phase. It's awesome.
It's lovely against hordes.
Yeah. But what that does mean is that...
Okay, we've just found out from the table the general has got stickler for the code.
That means he gets to change it up. That's not bad. That means he gets to change up his code.
Yeah, so he's got a bit more flexibility.
He's got an extra... he's got an extra...
an extra footnote.
Yeah, an extra footnote.
Sweet.
Which you can then use to take... These are just guidelines.
Yeah.
Because
I think he's got that actually. Yeah.
I would imagine that's why he's done that. That's the only reason to take it, which does let him then change his main article.
Gives you the flexibility.
Interestingly enough, only 2 characters and only 1 has that cheeky artifact. So even though he's probably got the range on Dave at the moment, he only has 1 model worth 20 wounds.
But he has got in his allies 2 units of evocators. They're the wizard.
Yeah,
so he has got the wizard keyword.
Yeah.
I mean, allies.
Yeah. So
I mean, they are the subpar. But if you need an occasional wizard, then
that's it. Well, you shackle them, chain them, drag them along, and make them do things for you. That's the dwarf way of using a wizard. 40 Arcanauts with 12 light skyhooks. I wonder what's going to be getting buffed by those ether chemists. I would guess them, so that they'd be popping out 24 light sky hook shots a turn.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful choice for getting the maximum out of those ether chemists. However, I always get worried when I see a big unit of 40, because it's 1 big hit and 1 bad battle shock, and you lose all your skyhooks in a turn.
It's a big target, isn't it?
Yeah. And then the other 2 10s of Arcanaut Company only having volley guns. What do you reckon?
Okay, so they, so normally you just see everybody convert every gun that they can into a skyhook, because they are the better of all of the choices. So you can also take pikes. I don't think I've ever seen a pike. And I don't expect I ever will, unless the scroll gets updated at some stage. He then has got a unit of 14 Thunderers, which we mentioned before.
Is to leave room in the frigate.
Yeah, under strength by 1, so he can put in his deep striking frigate that other character.
Yeah, awesome. And then, of course, because he is playing Barrack Zilfin, he's got a frigate with the Aethospheric engine, so they can drop out of the sky for a grand total of 1980 points.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going to take you back to the table.
Going back to the table.
Because things are obviously hotting up quite a bit.
The shooting has happened, and I believe the Arcanauts have killed that Knight Incantor that was sat.
That one Incantor had his head blown off.
Was filled full of sky pikes, light hooks.
Yeah, well, I probably expected that to happen.
Yeah.
There would have been, I don't even think they would have been -1 to hit, because it doesn't look like the Incantor would have been within 3 inches of this unit down here. As you can see on the screen, the Incantor was around here. Would have been in 3, but still -1, +1, because the Arcanauts get +1 to hit against monsters and heroes.
Yeah, they particularly like picking off the heroes, so that was a great target for them. And then the Thunderers, Eidolons aren't monsters, but they are heroes, so you still get the buff against them. The Thunderers have cock their weapons, and I think that's all the dice he's rolling now.
Yeah, into
Yeah.
the thralls
And
by
they-
the looks of things,
yeah.
because he has to target the closest Deepkin
Yeah,
unit.
because he's forgot about all the rest of
Yeah,
them.
for some bloody reason, Deepkin. That's why they're elves, and they're so forgettable. People don't even remember that they're on the board fighting them. They're like, "What the hell is that?" So the 40
So
man
the-
unit hasn't fired
The
yet.
40-man unit's not fired. Who killed the Incantor? The 2 units of
Oh, the Incantor was killed by 2 units of 10.
the 2 units of 10 Arcanauts pushed
Wow,
up.
wow. But I think the problem is, by the looks of things,
Okay. And then, so he's used the other footnote.
Yeah. There's no trading with some people.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So he's decided that they're not worth trading with. He may as
Yep.
well bloody die.
May
so
as
he's
well
died.
kill those thralls.
So we've still got the big unit of Arcanauts to
Well,
shoot.
here's the thing though, this big unit of Arcanauts, it'll be interesting which they're actually closer to. This unit of thralls or this unit of thralls if they survive. Because obviously he wants to be targeting those eels that are down here. This is what he wants to be shooting
Yeah,
at.
that's the big threat, isn't
But
it?
he can't if there's any of those thralls in front of them left alive, or if the thralls on the other side of the board are closer. So that's going to be really interesting.
So here we're going to see how many of the thralls he's killed with the Thunderers. So I would have expected they're wiped out, and yeah, he's taking them all off. They would
Yeah.
have had an extra save from the boat,
But the chemist would have been giving all of those Thunderers an extra shot as well.
yeah. So and it's all rend, extra rend because of the fiery atmosphere that we're
Yeah.
fighting in. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
would have. I mean, they do get +1 save in the first turn, don't they?
Yeah, they do. That's
Yeah.
true. Their counters
But-
being cover, but
that's all.
so that's really just cancelling out the realm
Yeah,
effect.
Exactly. So now that has exposed these eels. So it's a case of now measuring to see who is closer to those sky hooks, because they are going. The boat. So the boat. It looks like the boat shooting now.
Oh, yeah.
It's got the big old cannon.
Yep.
So-
The 4-up that never hits.
Yeah. So he's obviously unloaded into the eels. They're the closest thing to him.
Yep.
So we'll see. Oh, it looks like there might be a wound or two that's gone through there.
Now the thing is, that extra rend for flaming missiles,
Yeah.
which is the Realmscape feature, only comes into effect if the unit shooting is more than 12 inches from the enemy.
Right.
So if Dave can get in close, it's actually not going to have much effect.
Okay. So the big unit of Arcanauts
The big unit of Arcanauts
has not
is about to
must
fire.
have shot already.
So we're going to cross
We're going
directly to the table for.
priority. No, this is
Oh, this is priority.
And I think that means that the Ideneth player has
That's gone to the
Yeah.
Deepkin. Deepkin winning priority and taking. Oh. He won. So Dave the Master Kerr won priority, so he celebrated. And then the problem is there was too much celebration for us to know exactly what was going on. What did the big
And-
unit of Arcanauts shoot at? Or were they out of range? They were out of range. That
so
big unit of 40.
he's holding them back for.
Oh, I think that's going to be a pretty telling mistake.
Yeah.
That's your biggest damage dealing unit, and it's out of range, and you don't move it up turn 1.
Yeah.
That's pretty heavy.
Yeah. And there we see the orb bounce across onto that shipwreck.
Yep.
So it's just over here now.
Yep.
So
Which is actually I think the placement of the boat was clever for getting near where the orb could potentially be. I think knowing that you were going to be targeting the thralls with the boat, I would have leant towards maybe bringing the boat down out here.
Yeah.
Because that way you could still put the pressure on, but you're forcing him to come to you if the bounce ends up where it did. So that's the objective right there.
So, although it's not too bad, the position that he is now, it does mean, so this is a combat Deepkin force.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to go over there and punch the boat.
Yeah.
And punch the Thunderers.
Yep.
So in order to do that, they're not going to be on the objective.
True.
So,
However, I think Dave has the units. He's got enough here. If he wants, I think he's got an Eidolon that can come across here and get in range of the objective.
Yeah.
He's got an Eidolon that can come over here and deal with the boat. And he's got these eels which can come up and deal with the unit that would potentially come and score 4 crons. So I think Dave has enough board presence to take care of that. Also, now that that boat's dropped from the heavens, this unit up the back here is free to do whatever the heck it wants. So it could be quite interesting.
Yeah, just depends whether his screen's got the legs. I mean, that unit of eels is going to go up there. It's going to absolutely paste whatever it gets into.
Yeah. In Australia, we would call them getting shit mixed.
That's about to happen somewhere over there. The interesting thing will be, obviously, there's a small gap just here. I think he's going to try and get some of those eels.
One unit within 3, yeah.
And then offload some electricity into that.
Because, mate, you know that they're not going to die against Arkanauts in combat.
Yeah.
Arkanauts put out a reasonable amount of attacks, but I don't think they've got enough. Well, actually, to be honest with you, Dave doesn't actually need to touch the objective because he still controls it. Because Kron didn't get it in his turn.
Oh, this is true, yeah.
So Dave can, if he wants, if he can tie up all of Kron's units, he can effectively ignore it and let it go. So that could be an interesting move from him if that's where he chooses to do with it.
Yeah. Although the cool thing about the Thunderers is they have that skink ability
to retreat out of combat.
So they can drop out of the combat and go and claim that because they're probably close enough to get a model over there to contest. So if he doesn't get anything within range, there's a chance if there's a surviving Thunderer or two, he'll just nip over there and nick the gold from under his feet.
That would actually be it. But look, you've got, is that Volturnus next to the Eidolon down the bottom? I think it is.
Oh, yeah, down here, yeah.
I would hazard that the Eidolon and Volturnus will go in. One of them will attack first, and then basically ask Kron the question, what do you want to save? Do you want to pile in with that big unit of 40 and put some attacks on the eels, or do you choose to retreat your Thunderers out? There is, but look at that. There's an Eidolon probably right within 3 inches of that objective.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's 20 models sitting there just being like, hey, this is sweet. The Greasy Goblin right now, just in case you can't see it, it's controlled by the red player, and it's just down here on the edge of the boat. It's at the back, at the captain's wheel, just spinning that wheel and feeling real good about itself.
Sat on the stern, yeah.
So while they have a little play around, while we go through the movement phase, we're going to go to our reporter in the field, the man who's programmed to love, Mr. Dan from AOS Shorts. Dan, take it away.
Hey guys, welcome back. Okay, so what I've got for you for this update is a quick rundown on how the top tables have chosen to take the first turn. And we've got an even split from table 2 down to table 9. There is an even split between players that deployed first and took the first turn, and players that deployed first and gave it away. It's a straight 4-on-4. So really interesting choice for the players here, because as we know with Relocation Orb, you get extra points if you are in the bottom of the round. So if you are the player that is taking the turn at the bottom of the player round, you get extra points when capturing the Relocation Orb. So there is strong incentive to go second, but we've got an even split from the players across the tables. So let's have a quick rundown of where they've gone. So on table 2 was the matchup between the Hagnar and the Phoenix Guard. James Morehouse with his Phoenix Guard deployed first, took the first turn. He's moved up. Games in the sort of early stages there. Daughters of Cain are running through their spells and prayers at the moment. No one's really moved into the middle of the board yet. Turn 3, Winterleaf. This is the Winterleaf mirror matchup. Liam deployed first because he's a 1-drop versus Lee's 2-drop. Liam gave the first turn to Lee, and Liam left a gap behind his line right in the corner, and Lee took the opportunity. So Lee has got a unit of 6 attacking eels, and he has deployed 4 of them because 4 was what he could fit into the gap with the foot hero that has to be deployed along with them. And so Lee has taken that chance. It was completely against his battle plan. Liam has left a space in behind his lines. Lee has dropped those eels in there and is threatening Durthu from behind there. So turn 4, table 4, Matt Campbell with his Gore Pilgrims against Legion of Blood. Matt was given the first turn. Matt Campbell deployed first, gave the first turn to the Legion of Blood army. Table 5, Gentili deployed first, so Gentili with his Daughters of Cain list gave Ryan the first turn. Table 6, Ash with his Nighthorn gave Sean Bates the first turn. Sean deployed his anvils long strikes from out of the sky, and he took 8 wounds off the Black Coach. The Nighthorn army is currently huddled around the Skullvein Manse, trying to avoid the anvil shooting. Table 4, Ben took, this is the Magakin of Nurgle mirror match. Ben with the Thricefold Befoulment took the first turn. Table 8, this is the matchup with the Swifthawk Agents versus Grand Host of Nagash. Michael, the Grand Host of Nagash player, took the first turn and threw the Reapers across the board into the Spire Guard. Table 9 is the last one that we're going to talk about. This is the Legion of Asgore mirror match. Tim deployed, took the first turn, and is trying to shoot off the war machines that he's going to be facing. So that's the wrap-up. Really interesting to see the mix between people that gave away the first turn and took it. I'll be back with more matchups later. Going back to the top table now. Cheers, guys.
Thanks to Dan.
Yeah, oh, look at him. He's just so chiseled. It's hard. I sit here just staring into his beautiful eyes, which is a shame because then I don't catch the updates on the table. So welcome back, Cancon 2019. We are here, the first Grand Slam of the year, 200 Age of Sigmar players, biggest Age of Sigmar event in the world, duking it out for the top place. Now, on stream right now, we have the Caradron Overlords versus the Deepkin. Now, just very quickly, in turn 1, we saw the Deepkin secure the objective and move up. The Caradron drop down and do a little bit of damage with shooting. They killed a Knight Incantor and a unit of Thralls, but everything else was out of range. And now it looks like the Deepkin have brought a world of hurt to them.
So they've made, looks like they've only made the 2 charges, so that unit of eels at the top there has managed to hop over some of the screens in front of them, and they've engaged several units there, and they've engaged
all of them, I think. It looks like there's 2 units of Arcanaut, 2 10 units of Arcanauts that were a screen that proved ineffective. There's a big 40 of Arcanauts here, and then there's 2 5s of Knight Incantors. Evocators, sorry.
So, I mean, that unit of eels has taken on virtually a whole Caradron army.
That unit of eels has taken on an entire Caradron army by themselves.
Yeah.
They're probably going to die, but I reckon all Dave's counting on is that those eels survive. One of them survives locked in the middle there to tie them all up. Yes, we have reprogrammed Nathan's microphone to be
turn
to
the
be
on
on.
button
Yes.
on again. Fucking thing.
So
Yes,
the eels down here. Now the Eidolon down the bottom here. We had the Eidolon.
So he's actually fought first.
Of course, yeah. Well, otherwise, all of the there were a big unit of Thunderers down here in combat with the Eidolon.
And
that would have
I believe
retreated
the
out.
Eidolon has killed 9 of them. So that leaves.
Wow.
No, he's killed 12 of them. There's only 2
left. So the odds are that's a battle shock that's not even worth passing. They're cooked, I reckon.
Yeah. Although there was a chemist down there, is that? So
Yeah.
So there'll be a.
There's a chemist, but would you waste the command point saving 2 models?
Depends whether he can run them close enough to.
That's a good point. Yeah.
To get within range of the objective, which is on the stern of this ship. If he can run them, maybe not even this turn, but in his own turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just retreat onto that objective, then he's going to be scoring, because this is the greased up goblin where you score more points on the second.
Yeah, on the
second
bottom
turn
yeah.
of the thing. So
this is the top of turn 2.
yeah.
So Dave is going to score 1 point and only be at 2. Now, if Kron can get that objective back in his turn, he's going to go up to 3 and take the lead.
Yeah, and so although he's taken a bit of a kicking, he's actually going to be ahead on the amount of gold, which is quite right for dwarves.
Yeah,
They're there for the gold.
And a good grumble if things go bad.
That's right. I mean, I think this. So that's this area down here sort of dealt with. So the interesting area is going to be the top area now, where this unit of eels has just decided to fight
Now,
the majority of the Caradron army.
who do you focus your attacks on with the eels? So we've got 5 combat eels up the top here. There's 2 units of 10 Arcanauts here and here. for the Cahadron, I wouldn't tend to focus on them. Would you be putting all of your attacks into this 40 block of warriors with the light skyhooks?
Yeah.
Or would you be putting it into the 2 5-man units of evocators who have those mortal wounds?
Yeah, it's a good list because you've got those units of 5 evocators. They actually provide quite a good little combat punch.
Well, effectively, they could do a decent amount of damage to the eels and some mortal wounds to them. And remember, Dave wants to keep those eels alive in there so that nothing can move forward and shoot in the Caradron player's turn.
Although I do think if that unit of Arcanauts survives, they are going to rinse them. The amount of shots coming out of that into those eels, they're dead.
And the thing is, Dave is running out of units to screen with. With things dying, he's not going to have that much to use for that little Mists Forgotten Memories thing where units can only target the closest Deepkin models to them.
So
we're just getting an update from the table now.
Yeah. So they are fighting everything. I think so. This unit of evocators have piled in. I think they've finished off one of the eels, and that looks like a wound marker there. So there's probably a few wounds on that. So there's still the other unit of evocators to pile in and do some stuff. And then the block of Arcanauts, the 2 blocks, they'll get in and do a few attacks. There's still a large number of attacks.
See, that's the thing.
The quality is probably...
And they're not defensive eels, they're combat eels.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting to see how they hold up against all of this. All Dave needs is one alive to ruin Kron's day.
Yeah.
Just one of those eels that either survives or doesn't run away from battle shock, and it's good.
Well, I mean, so, yeah, the thing is, though, there's the other 2 units. So if one eel is left, then that eel will have to become the target of your next shooting round.
Yep.
But you have got 3 units of shooters there. Hopefully one of them will clear that eel or the remaining eels out the way, and then that will leave you a big block to start firing away. Although the nearest unit to them is probably this unit of thralls. So it does mean in the next turn...
he does have 2 10s of Arcanauts with those machine guns, though, that could potentially clear out a chaff screen.
Yeah. So, but it's a case of how many eels remain, if any, after this combat phase.
I also think a really big question, it's not just whether the eels remain, it will be how Dave takes away any casualties. Because if he starts to take the casualties from up here, the evocators might be out of range to do their zappy, lightning, annoying mortal wound thing, which everybody obviously loves so very, very much.
Oh yeah. So we just heard from the table. Obviously, there's a chemist in the mix, and he's sucking the fighting force out of the eels.
Of course, -1 attack.
That's it. So that's a beautiful little piece.
Can we just check from the table which chemist has the artifact? Because one of the chemists
I believe
is
it's
worth
the one on the
20
boat.
models. So it's the one on the boat has the artifact, which is real good news for Kron, because that's the one closest to the objective right now. So if he could somehow maybe use a command, move the boat, retreat the boat that's here out of combat over to here, and then also follow up with a big maybe run roll from that chemist to get in there, he might be able to get 21 models in range of that objective.
Yeah.
The objective being right here at the moment.
That's right. Well, he's going to have, so he's got a command point at the moment from the previous turn, because he wouldn't have used any command abilities.
So he'll have 2 in his turn.
And he'll earn another command point. So he might use one for the battle shot, and then using the other one for the run.
Yeah. He also does have an ability called There's Always a Wind or Always a Breeze if you look for it, from Zilfin, which lets him once per game move one of his boats in the hero phase as if it were the movement phase. He could potentially use that to retreat the boat out of combat and get it cleared, which is 100% what I'd do, because in the battle between boat and Eidolon of the Storm, nothing goes well for the boat.
So the eels have done their combat phase, and they've only killed 1 evocator from one unit and 2 from the other. So
that's not bad though. That's a lot less zappy zaps.
So that still leaves you with started with 10 in all.
So 7.
We've got 7.
So we should see 7 mortal wounds hit those eels.
Yeah. And he is. We are seeing other combat. So another eel's been taken away, because we're just seeing all the other units now piling in. using their cutlasses and their
Yeah.
evocator staves.
I believe Gilderbane is on the bottom Eidolon.
Oh, the one that's
Yeah.
engaged with the
boat,
frigate. Ah, so this Eidolon is actually not worth the 20, because they're not wizards, aren't they?
No, he's not.
No.
So he's only worth one model.
One model.
Wow. That might not have been a great move. That
Both
could be
aspects
easy.
of the storm, and only one of them has got an artifact.
So we're just finding out from the table which one
Has the artifact? Yeah,
They're not
and the one that's fighting the frigate, that is the one with the artifact. So
Yeah.
So the other lad, he is a single model, and he counts as a single model.
Yeah, wow, that's a big single model. But it's just like if you park an ironclad on it, an ironclad counts as one model. They park a gigantic skyboat, and they just like drop anchor and just poof the boat down on top of the objective, and it's like, yep, that's worth one model. Two skinks rock up, and they're like, hey, how you doing?
That's
We'd like
my
this.
gold.
Yeah.
Hand it over. Give us your lunch money, boy.
Yeah. They take the gold off you with two rats. Two giant rats can take the boat.
Or one little skaven wizard
Mate, yeah.
nicking the lunch money off of a huge ship.
So in the chat, who are you going for? Who do you think's going to win? Are you pro Deepkin or are you pro Kahadron? And if you are, or are you Kron, the plucky? Let's call him the plucky up and comer, because Dave Kerr is the current Australian master, reigning 2 years in a row. I played him. In fact, I played him in the final round of Cancon last year.
Oh yeah.
And it was an amazing game. He is possibly one of the biggest legends in War Dollies. He's a great bloke to play a game against. He not only plays an amazing game in Warhammer, but he's a legend about playing it. And you feel like you've had a competitive game, but you feel like you've had a competitive game against someone that you want to go and have a beer with straight away
That's
afterwards.
right. So he's part of the Mango Mafia crew, isn't he?
Yes,
so,
yeah.
They seem like a bunch of legends through
Yeah,
and through.
they're from up in Queensland. Now the reason they're called the Mango Mafia is not just because we love mangoes, but there's a beer that's quite well known up in Queensland, which is one of the northern states of Australia.
Yeah.
And it's called 4X. Now it's not particularly renowned for being an amazing beer. However, the joke, because they're in tins, like they're tinnies, and they're this rich golden colour, and they come from a place called Milton, the joke is that they're Milton mangoes. So that's why the Mango Mafia exists. So they're the Milton Mango Mafia.
The Milton Mango Mafia. A great bunch of lads they are too. So, it's just a big smorgasbord of stabbing up here at the moment.
Just a breeze block of pain for those eels.
Everybody's piling in and having a bit of stabby.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the combat phase, we're going to see the remaining evocators unleash a bit of lightning as well.
So how many wounds went onto those eels altogether, do you think? It looks like one has died,
So,
by the looks of things.
so they passed. So the combat phase is finished. So the amount of eels that are fit there, which is looks like 4 or 5, that's quite a big chunk of them still fighting.
Yeah,
so.
that's all. There were 6 eels, I believe. So if there's still 5 there, that's pretty good for Dave. It means it's unlikely that all of them are going to die.
Yeah. Well, the combat phase is finished. They've even had the battle
That's
shot.
even after the zaps.
Yeah. So
Wow.
now. Okay. So yeah, fair enough. So it does. In that big combat there, I think it sounds like a few things have been missed, but we're now in the Caradron list.
He missed.
He missed to use his lightning staves, I think, from the look of things.
Oh wow!
So
I forgot there. That's what happens.
Why rely on wizards when you can use guns?
That's the thing. He's a dwarf player, and he's been like, "Oh, piss off, wizards! You shit dirt magicians! I want none of this hokum pokum, and I'm just going to shoot him with cannonballs."
Exactly.
Now, it also looks like he forgot the combat down the bottom, which would have given him an opportunity to retreat out those thunders.
Although I think they were out of range of the Eidolon anyway.
Yeah.
Because this model here is going to be the chemist.
Oh no, I think the chemist is the one in the back corner.
Oh, there's the chemist there. Those are the.
So now remember, because there's only one model holding the center objective, the objective there for Dave, it will only take 2 models from the Cadron army to take the points for this round. And they only have to be within 6 as well. So wizards or heroes with an artifact of power count as 20 models if they're within 3 inches of the objective. However, if they're only within 6, everything only counts as 1.
Yeah.
So as long as he gets 2 models within 6, it's his.
It's his, and he gets the extra point.
It looks like he's I would be very surprised if he hasn't moved them into there. Dave the Massacre, big grin on his face. I think he's sending good juju.
The guns are being unleashed.
He just did. You might have just seen a little disco magic worked on the table there. He was busting out some raucous hip thrusts while he did some spirit fingers over the combat. Obviously praying to some kind of disco god to not only bring disco back, but also that this round of shooting wouldn't kill them.
This is going to be painful as anything. Although they are within the 12 inches, they're not having the extra rend from the fiery air. So this is the first unit of 10 Thunderers, 10 Arcanauts. So they've got the volley guns as opposed to the light skyhooks. They're going to be pretty juicy actually in this specific case, because it's quantity of shots. So
they'll only be hitting on 5s, which I think is going to be a bit of a problem for them.
Okay. So here come the saves. So it looks like only 5 bullets have gone through, and that looks like there's 3. Because that's a mystical piece of terrain.
Oh gosh, right. So they've gone in there and they're just making things even harder to kill them.
So that puts a few more wounds on one of those eels. So this is just going to be a case of 2 wounds onto that eel, and he's just going to be plugging away with all these units of Arcanauts.
Okay, so Nath, the bounce for the objective. From there is either going to be 12 inches to the left or 12 inches to the right, unless I get the battle plan wrong. And if you are in the comments and you just think that I've gone full potato, please yell at me, because I had a lot of spud last night. So I'm a pretty carby boy right now.
Yes.
But I believe it's going to go 12 inches to the left or 12 inches to the right.
So you're looking at there or there. Oh, there we go. We've even got we've got it on the screen.
And as has just been pointed out to us by the tech boffin, they're in fact on the screen directly to the left of the map where Scrivo did the overlay. But that's because we're dispossessed and we trust in books, not in fancy schmancy technology. So still that bounce could be a bit of an issue because it doesn't look like it's going anywhere. And you are 100% right, Flukesy. There is a 1/3 chance for a double bounce. But I like to play on the side of there's a 66% chance I can know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
And if it double bounces, that just means that the greased up goblin has decided to play fast and loose. Which is exactly what it did when you and I played at Warhammer World.
It was bouncing around all over the place.
Yeah, it'd run towards your grots and be like, oh, hey boys, and be like, I'm going to fuck back off over to these dispossessed, they're all right.
Yeah.
They've got beer. It was
I've
great.
heard the boss is looking for me, and that was the last we ever saw of him.
Flukesy, you are 100% right that it's a 66% chance of it going to one of those 2 locations, unless the person playing is like you or someone who's relying on that chance, because then there is a 100% chance it will dick you down hard.
So
looks like
was that the chemist?
Now, I think, to be honest, these eels are probably going to die, but as long as all of those skyhooks are used up doing it, I think that's an amazing trade.
Right.
If he has to trade a unit of 6 eels to shut down the skyhook shooting for a turn and save his Eidolons, I would make that trade every day. I would feed them a unit every single turn, force them to deal with something right up close and personal.
And stay away from the greasy goblin.
Exactly, yep.
Because, that's a lot of wounds to get through. And we have seen the skyhooks go into the eels, and that's why there's only 2 left, I think, or possibly just the 1 left. And here come all the pistol shots.
Sometimes I actually buff the pistols with my chemist instead of the heavier weapons, just for weight of shots.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting a pistol shot.
Well, if there's like 30 dudes in there with pistol shots, that's extra 30 shots. That's pretty sweet. Although the chemist in that area was.
Sorry, just to quickly update, J-Pick, I probably pronounced that wrong. You're chasing the lists. Those lists are actually from yesterday. Nightbot hasn't been updated because we've been really busy updating Dan from AOS Shorts and getting his basically getting his programming at its maximum operating efficiency. However, you can find these two lists on thehonestwargamer.com. If you go on there and look up Kahadron and Ideneth, you will be able to find both of those lists from Cancon 2019. All of the 2019 Cancon lists are up there. But unfortunately, Nightbot, he's operating on low power so that the beautiful Dan from AOS Shorts, who we are about to cut to right now, can operate on full power. We actually had to go out and buy the biggest size batteries you can ever buy to power him for today. You don't want to know where the recharging socket is on him. So we're going to cross over to him right now. Take it away, Mr. Dan.
Hey guys, definitely operating at full power today. There's just so much good Warhammer on that I have to be going full power. Okay, table 2. This is the Daughters of Cain versus Phoenix Guard. They're still sort of beginning to engage. Daughters have come across the board. They've got cogs up, but they have been met with a wall of Phoenixes. So there is the 30 Phoenix Guard across the front, and sitting behind them pretty much horizontally creating a wall is the 3 Phoenixes with a Ventus sitting in behind. So they're engaging across the middle of the board, but there's just that solid Phoenix Temple wall to get through. Table 3. So this is a Winterleaf matchup. Big developments here. So you may recall that Liam left space behind his lines for the Eels to drop in. Eels dropped in. Eels charged. The 2 branch rates went in. You'd think they'd do well. You'd think they'd take the branch rates off, but the branch rates through to Liam's positioning were close enough to Durthu. They passed wounds off to Durthu. Durthu was standing in mystical terrain with a 6-up ward save. They survived. The counterpunch from the Liam's list came back, and then the Eels rolled 6 for the battle shock. Eels gone. That's a major swing in that battle. Lee's major combat threat of his 6 combat Eels went for the opportunity and are gone. So I think this is going to be Liam's game, potentially. We'll see. Lee's definitely got an uphill battle there. Table 4, Legion are currently over the orb against the Gore Pilgrims. Gore Pilgrims really just coming out. Not seen too much engagement in that battle yet. Table 5, this is the Warherds and Daughters of Cain matchup. Haven't had any combats yet. Daughters of Cain haven't been able to get into the Ungor screens because they couldn't get cogs up, so they're sort of dancing around. Table 6. So this is the Anvils of Heldenhammer versus Nighthaunt list. Interesting tete-a-tete here. So the Anvils of Heldenhammer have been given the first turn. They dropped into position. They shot off 10 wounds off the Black Coach. They also shot off the Dread Hallow. Now this is key. If you haven't played against the pure Nighthaunt list and see what a Dread Hallow does, the Dread Hallow is the heart of that Nighthaunt army because of the teleporting ability. That has now been shot off. So the Nighthaunt are going to be less mobile, but Sean has had to sacrifice his own positioning in order to be there. So the Anvil, the main weight of the Anvil shooting army is off to one flank. The center is being held by the Azeros and the Phoenix, but the weight of Sean's army is off to the side. So we'll really see how that's going to impact the movement of that game. Table 7 is the Maggotkin mirror match. They've basically just rushed off into the middle. Nothing much has happened. No one's died yet. Table 8, that's Swift Hawks versus Grand Host of Nagash. 2 interesting things there. Michael's Grand Host of Nagash list has used the Reavers, Grimghast Reapers, to block up Paul Swift, his Reavers. So Paul's lost some of his mobility there. Paul got Comet off against Nagash. Paul cast Comet on a 7. Nagash is going to think, yeah, I've got this. Double 1. Double 1. So right next to Nagash and to the guy with the hourglass they're both blathed in the glow of the Comet, both sitting next to them. So yes, well done to the Swifthawks there. And table 9 in the mirror match, the guy who took the first turn, Tim, took the magma cannons off, but Reese, with his Kadai, is right into the lines. He's taken the front ranks off, and now he's into Tim's War Machines. So that's a really interesting matchup in the Legion of Asgore. So that's it in terms of the updates from tables 2 through to 9. So I'm going to be turning you back to the top table, and I'll have more updates for you as we get through the round. So back to the top table now, guys. Cheers.
Okay, and we're back. Welcome back, Cancon 2019, round 4 of 6 rounds. Yeah. And we are looking at the top table right now, Kahadron Overlords versus Ideneth Deepkin. 200 Age of Sigmar players duking it out for the first Grand Slam of the year and the world's biggest Age of Sigmar tournament.
That's right, we've had the first 2 turns. The first turn was bit cagey. The Ideneth being given the first turn, moving up, claiming the objective, but screening himself very nicely.
Yep.
In return, the Caradron dropping his ambushing boat out of the sky.
Surprise boat.
Yeah, surprise boat with surprise thunderers.
Yep.
They then has killed the unit of thralls, and the rest of the Caradron army only being able to plug away at a knight in Cantor, which quickly disappeared.
he got shit mixed real early, real hard.
So that was the first turn. Obviously, the Ideneth scoring the single point there, and the Caradron unable to score. Second turn has happened. The Ideneth winning the turn and taking it, and running over and pretty effectively dealing with the Thunderers, leaving only 2 of them, but also leaving the Chemist, who has an Aethershot Earbuster, meaning that he actually counts as 20 if he can get close enough to the gold, and the Frigate alive. So they slipped away.
They snuck into this tiny little gap that you can see just here. This is where they came to capture an objective that was right here.
On the stern of that
where
boat.
Dave had a unit here and here. So he just left enough of a gap between for Kron to slip a couple of models through and capture. Now the Eidolons have taken a few wounds. The centermost Eidolon here has taken 3 wounds. The bottom Eidolon down here has taken 1. And we just had a priority roll that went to the Caradron Overlords, and Kron chose to take it. Now, the objective marker is just here. We'll update it in a second. That should be blue because it is currently controlled by the Kahadron Overlords.
That's right. And the other thing that's happened is the big offensive unit that the Ideneth have, the Eels, went flying across the board, basically took on the whole Caradron army. Which involved
killed a Chemist, which was amazing because it means that big block of 40 Arcanauts with their light skyhooks, it's halved their amount of death-dealing shots.
That's right. So that's pretty cool. But there are still loads of dwarves sat at the back there.
Oh, an angry dwarf gunline, is there nothing more beautiful in this world?
Their trigger fingers are itching, shall we say. So, having taken this turn, I'm expecting him to put a lot of hurt on the Ideneth and just hope that they are unable to come out and start scoring gold. He should be able to cover that position there fairly effectively.
I think his problem is going to be is that Kron has a model down here. He's still got a Chemist down here worth 20 models. I don't know if he can get over to this objective here fast enough. However, Dave, the Master Kerr, has an Eidolon here that's only taken 1 wound, can only be targeted by 1 or 2 units with their shooting, and is worth 20 models because it has an artifact.
Right, and interesting enough, we've moved into the shooting phase. So it looks like
we've moved into the shooting phase already.
He's only moved these guys close enough.
Actually, no,
what about this? I'm very surprised he's not moved these fellas down to the goal.
Brought the evocators.
What is it? Oh, okay, so it does sound like the terrain has slowed these fellas down because there are some big walls here. They've had to climb up and down, and that's slowed them getting close.
Yeah, that's probably a small mistake in deployment. He deployed a model on the other side of this wall here, which meant it had to climb up over the wall and then back down
to join the rest of his unit, which has slowed them down.
That's an easy mistake to make. But imagine having 5 evocators on that objective right now. That's 5 models worth 100 models on the objective. So that was a bit of a slip up. Biological Hippo asking, have the Dispossessed kicked ass? They certainly have. Dispossessed have not lost a single game at Cancon.
Yeah.
There are not a single game dropped from Dispossessed, which is wonderful to hear.
Typical Dispossessed, 100% record.
Yeah, they literally can't lose this event, so we will be obviously following the fact that they're unbeatable. So looks like we've got a bit of shooting coming out.
Right, so the skyhooks are firing. I've just heard from the table that skyhooks, obviously harpoons.
Yeah.
What are you going to use if you're going to shoot a big fish? A harpoon. Every single one of them has hit its mark.
All 12 that are still there. My
Wow,
God.
that is going to be one skewered
And
fish.
they'll be rend 3 because of the Realmscape effect as well. That is one shit mixed Eidolon.
And just been told that this game would make Ahab horny. So
Yeah, definitely. Somewhere there's a bloke who's reading Moby Dick, just like feeling this tingle down his
He's
spine,
like-
being like, somewhere in the world something beautiful's happening.
So that Eidolon has been dispatched.
Yep. However, to be honest, that's not the Eidolon he needed to worry about.
Yeah, the other one is the one with the artifact.
Yeah, the ones with the
Gilded
artifact
Blade.
down the bottom.
But so we've got another unit of 10 Arcanauts. These ones have got the volley guns, machine guns.
Now the thing is though, if they don't kill that Eidolon, it is 100% taking 3 points per Dave in his turn.
Yeah. But, I mean, so you've still got the Eidolon and the frigate and this chemist.
Yeah.
So
true.
there's a good chance the Eidolons have only got a dozen wounds.
The frigate won't be able to shoot him because the frigate is closer to the Volturnus over here.
Yeah.
So the frigate's going to have to target Volturnus, and it'll be interesting to see who the chemist is closer to as well.
This is true. Yeah. That's the thing about fighting these fishy elves.
Got to remember, you can only target the closest unit.
That's right. Yeah. So, here come the saves. No, still
Did he just take a wound off him?
taking.
Did he get shot and get stronger?
So he's taken 7 wounds.
Wow. So that means he's got 1 left. So he's taken 7 wounds, which means I believe he only has 1 left. I think.
Which 7 wounds, and there's still a few more shots left.
That's it's this Realmscape effect
I wonder if
has
he's
been
going to
wonderful
hoover
for
it up
KO.
that big ways.
Yeah. Yep. or no, maybe like he's just, you know how people go fishing with fishing rods? He's just gone fishing with a hand grenade, just thrown it in there and nuked him.
The chemist has got its hoover out.
Oh, and he's gone.
There we go.
The Eidolon is
And so who dispatched
there?
that? Right,
Wow.
these last 2 Thunderers
The last 2 that could shoot at him. Wow.
just
Wow, that's intense. However, it's now down to whether Volturnus survives. Because if Volturnus survives, you better believe
8 failed. So we've, it does sound like the dice have been helping out a bit.
Oh, really?
Because he's had 8 4-up saves to make with 8 dice, failed every single one of them.
Oh, wow.
So that's got to be
that's what happens when you are a big fish and you take on
Proper
a
bullets.
dispossessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, hey, check out my sweet water knife. And they're like, okay, I raise you a gun. And you're like, man, I brought a knife to a gunfight and it's not even made out of real metal.
Yeah. If you're going to try and protect yourself with a wave against a bullet,
Yeah.
that's not going to work, my friend.
Look, I don't know how many of our viewers right now are from Australia, but if you have ever been to the beach on a moderate day, you have had your poo pushed in by the ocean when you get a surprise wave to the back of the head. I guarantee you that's what happened to these war dollies right here. Dave looking like he needs some voodoo magic. So a bit of bush magic. We're going to go to shaky cam right now. We're going to bring shaky cam.
That these 2 players have got on
Bring
there.
your hot and heavy right into the table, crossing to shaky cam right now. So here we can see the objective. We can see these guys in their little bunker. They're just chilling out there. Dave, not stoked about what's happened.
He's really worried about rolling 4-up dice. But
Yeah, there we go.
there-
Yeah.
From
So
the
back to
Caradron.
the table now. Yeah, Kron's name is perfect for his army. I believe he probably chose the army based off of his name, was the way to do it. Yeah, okay, so Mr. Elkington coming in with some sweet, hot, fresh science facts. Bullets travel a very short distance through water, about 2 to 4 meters. That doesn't help if you've just got a cape made out of water that's like 1 millimeter thick. That's like trying to stop a bullet with spit and prayers. It's not going to help you at all. We're just the table is about to be refreshed. One of the things about Age of Sigmar at Cancon is that it's bloody hot.
Yeah.
And so we are drinking so much water, but the scary thing is I'm not even peeing. So I want to know where all that water's going.
It's just topping up the aether
Yeah.
that is in the atmosphere
yeah,
around
that's
us.
it. Yeah.
These war gamers are creating their own aether but the Karajan are fighting through, and
The Caradron brought their floaties. The whole army has, the ones that you put around your arms when you're a kid learning to swim.
Yeah.
They're just dog paddling their way through. They're just like, haha, we brought life vests.
So that would be the Karajan turn is finished, and we're going to see what, if anything.
Well, Volturnus all he needs to do is charge into that unit, kill 2 models, and the objective is his for 3 points.
Maximise on the gold.
Yeah.
But he's not got a lot of units left.
No.
To compete here. But the thing that the Karajan player has ended up with the bulk of his force back here, and it's not particularly quick. If this bouncing goblin, which at the moment, if you look at the map on the side of your screen,
It's either going to go.
so we are here at the
It's either going to go left or right by
We're
12
down
inches.
here.
There's a 1/3 chance it goes to where his models can't catch it.
So on a 4-6 it can go up. If it goes up there, so that's going to be here on the map.
Yeah.
The Karajan
That's
player is
great.
going to be singing and dancing.
However,
it could end
on
up
a 1-3,
over there, which is sort of back on the boat.
no.
No,
So
no, it goes down to here. Sorry.
yeah. So if it goes down there, Dave will be laughing his head off. That would be a wonderful place. Because he can take the turn if he wins priority.
Yeah.
Clear out the models down there, safe in the knowledge that Kron can't get to that objective.
The Karajan force is just not fast enough to get all the way over there. So
So just to update, the bounce from where it is either going to go up to here or down to around here. That's the 66% odds. 2/3 chance that's where it goes. So it'll be interesting to see how he plans for that, because he doesn't have that much to work with.
yeah. Well, so we see him piling in a unit of thralls. So they've gone into one of the screening units of Arcanauts at the top.
They will absolutely wreck face against 1 wound models with a 5-up save, and that's real clever play from Dave Kerr. He knows that they'll win that combat and that they will probably kill out that unit, and that means that would be the closest unit to all of his shooting there.
Yeah,
meaning
although it
that-
does look like they've got wrapped rather awkwardly around that boat.
That's fine. He doesn't actually want to win the combat. He just wants to have a unit closer to draw all that shooting onto a unit he doesn't care about.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah.
Dave is a very clever player. For a man wearing a shirt featuring a beer, the traditional Milton Mango, and for a man who last night apparently drunk an ether sea's weight of booze, he is a very switched on individual. Don't let his sunny disposition and impish nature fool you. He is an absolute assassin when it comes to war
Yeah,
dollies.
he's making it right. That's very true. I mean, this Ideneth ability where you have to shoot the closest unit is really important, especially in this matchup where obviously the Karajan army is all about the shooting.
Well, look, to be honest with you, this is a terrible matchup for Dave.
Yeah.
He's got an elite army with monsters and heroes facing off against a heavy shooting army that focuses on monsters and heroes, and more so gets +1 rend to shots that are taken from range.
Yeah.
So this is a perfect round for the Kahadron, and I think Dave is playing it very well, considering the odds are really stacked up against him.
Oh, it looks like the evocators have got piled into that.
Oh, they were close
fight up
enough.
there. Yeah, so
I think there was only a couple left from that unit though, so Dave might not be too disappointed about that.
I wonder if he'll remember to use his lightning staffs this turn.
Yeah, so tellingly, last round, Kron forgot about his lightning stars at the end of combat, and so did no mortal wounds with 10 evocators, or 7 evocators, which was a big mistake, and that's it. You feel the pressure when you get to those top tables.
That's it. Yeah, you got to try and remember all of those little rules.
It becomes squeaky bum time. You've got that tight little pucker, and you get worried and you start to make silly
Oh,
mistakes.
there's a fair amount of saves that the thralls have to make. They're making some after damage saves, but the boat gives you that extra mystic shieldy type
Yeah,
save.
right.
But it does look like they've taken a bit of a hammering. Quite a few of those models are,
Yeah, I reckon
are
we'll
being,
see a number go down.
are being pulled away.
I would be pulling the ones away from the combat, to be honest with you, so that there's no lightning strikes coming your way. Oh wow. Yeah, this is going to be tight.
There's only 2 left. This battle shock is going to be rather
Yeah.
twitchy bum time
Yep.
for those.
Though it does look like Volturnus down the bottom here, quite predictably cleared away the 2 Grunstock Thunderers, which means that their goose is cooked, and that's what we'd expect to see go on.
So,
but
and
it does mean that
the
Dave the
last
Master
2
Kerr will bring out 3 points to take the lead back in the bottom of this round.
So the rest of the thralls get chopped up, so they're gone.
Oh, the thralls are all gone.
Yeah. Well, I think
Oh, that's a shame. He probably didn't even need to charge there. He maybe could have left them back.
yeah,
I think
he has given that a unit away really for
for
no
nothing.
gain.
Yeah,
No gain
I
at
think
all.
he probably didn't realise that the evocators were within 3. That was probably a little mistake there, but it's and that's a priority roll.
So Caradron have won that priority,
They've won priority.
and now they've got the decision to make.
This is a tough decision. Do you take priority and only get a point, but have potentially be able to?
But we've got to see where it goes.
Oh, and it's
that's-
gone back. It's gone back. Oh, or has it gone? Yeah, it's gone back.
It looks like he's taken that priority. He's moving models.
Wait, sorry, can we get the table to check? Isn't it meant to be against the bottom of the board edge? Isn't that objective supposed to be against the bottom of the board edge? Just to
So
double
that
check.
objective should be right on the edge, should it?
Just to make sure that it's in the right place. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, good. So, in case you lost, you didn't see it, the objective has gone where the Cadron wanted it, where the Cadron didn't want it to go. And I don't think it's too bad that he's won priority, because I think he can quite comfortably shoot Volturnus to death here. I also think that these thralls are going to be way too far out for Dave to get onto that objective.
And the frigate
And there is a frigate
and a
and
chemist.
a chemist who is worth 20 models because he has an artifact right here.
So, yeah, charging that unit of thralls in has actually been a bit detrimental, because they could have been the shield for Volturnus. From the majority of this, if you just run them up here in a line
agreed.
in front of them,
Yeah,
they would have died very horribly.
Definitely,
But
yep.
it would have saved the king. And,
yeah. It would have spared the king. It also would have meant that you would have been slowing down Kron's movement and stopping things from shooting the king in this turn. I think that was probably a rather sizable mistake. And I think what happened there is he just didn't realise that the evocators were within 3 inches. That's probably what happened.
Well, yeah, it's just something that didn't really need to happen.
I think if Dave had won this round, I think if the Deepkin had won the priority roll for this round, I think they possibly would have taken this game, because they would have been able to kill the boat and the chemist and leave the Cadron no way to score that objective. But as it is, I think that this game is really in the Cadron's hands now. It's his game to lose at this point.
Yeah, it's really hard to see anything that the IDNF can do to win this. Although, hearing from the table that Dave thinks he's got a slim chance, so I'm interested to see what that is.
But here's the thing, though, right? Dave is obviously the master for a reason.
Yeah,
he's
seeing into.
he's a master.
He's got different sight to the rest
Mate,
of us.
he's got that master sight, because he is powered by nothing but alcohol. He is seeing through the realms in a way that we never could. And when I played him at Cancon last year, that was exactly what the game was like. We played it, it was a great game, it was a tight game. It came down to a couple of failed charges where I mistakenly took a prime in my dispossessed list, which was a mistake for relying on something other than dwarves, and that prime failed a charge.
Was just your handicap for the tournament.
That was it. I had to take something that wasn't ultimate. That prime failed a charge, which put it out. It was an amazing game. but he's like a chess master. He's got that move up. So I think if Dave thinks he's still in this game, we should shut up and stop saying that it's in the Cahadron hands because he'll prove us wrong.
We're going to look like a silly couple of a couple mullets, aren't we?
Yeah, a couple. Yeah, I would love to see the the Durridin get a win. People throwing shade into the chat about Dispossessed. You can all go eat a bag of dicks. That's what I have to say about that. That's another grudge. And we're gonna, Mr. Dan Street from AOS Shorts has a cheeky update for us. So we're gonna go live to him right now. Mr. Street, what is going on with those top tables?
Oh, there's a lot going on, Dan. There is a lot going on. So on table 2, this is Daughters versus Phoenix Guard. Daughters have come in. They got Mind Razor off, did the cheeky tail to some Inspiring Presence terrain to get the maximum benefit from it against the Phoenix Guard. But that -1 to hit, man, that causes a problem. So there was the Mind Razor witches went in. They've killed 21 out of 50 of the Phoenix Guard at the Phoenix Temples left. That game is really in the balance. The Daughters have come in. They've crashed against the line, done the damage, but the Phoenix Temple are holding strong. On table 3, this is the Winterleaf matchup. Man, there's a lot going on here. Lee has used the Ilarial summoning to bring on 10 tree reps. Very, very, very useful in a relocation orb scenario for that teleport anywhere where they need him to be. So that was something that Liam was unexpecting. Liam Bloomin had to walk away from the table, but that has come through. Also, Lee's got a bit of benefit. He has teleported Ilarial, got the 6, able to move again, put that big pipe 8 on top of the relocation orb objective and seize it. These guys are taking risks and they are coming off. There is a lot going on in that matchup. Table 4, Gore Pilgrim's got the double turn 1 into 2. They're looking up strong. Table 5, this is the Warherds versus Daughters of Cain. All the Warherds are doing is sitting in a line pretty much in their deployment zone. Ryan has sent out a Chaos Spawn and has sent out 20 Ungor Raiders. And that's all he's done to seize the objective. And the Daughters are now completely around the Ungors and all encircling them. Nothing much happening in Table 6 at the moment. That's in the balance. Table 7, Bouncer's Key. Magakin of Nurgle matchup. They're both in a line, both across the board. They're not going to get past each other. Currently, the orb has bounced towards Ben, so he's in the lead there. And if it stays on his side of the board, it's game over. It's going to be his. Table 8, the Reavers have, the Swift Orc Agents Reavers have retreated out, seized the objective, but there's a big unit of Reapers coming for them. If they're going to seize it at the bottom of the turn, the the Grand Host and the Gash list will go into the lead. And Table 9, the 2 Legions of Adgor's list have basically wiped each other out by the end of turn 2. They have just gone at it at hammer and tongs. They're tied on points. They're not going to have any models left to claim the orb. It's going to be a real struggle. They've basically just gone, the game's in the balance. There's a big hill over here. We're going to fight for it for cinematic purposes. But we'll see who's got models left to try and seize the orb. So that's where we are on tables 2 to 9. So some really in the balance, some risks being taken. Really interesting to see. I'll have an update for you shortly, but we're going to go back to the top table now. Cheers, guys, very much. See ya.
Thank you, you beautiful love robot. Okay, so back to the table now. Welcome back, Cancon 2019. This is the top table at the first Grand Slam of Age of Sigmar for the year. So what we have here is we have Deepkin versus Cahadron Overlords. Now, Cahadron Overlords won the drop because they had a unit in a boat parked up in the sky, which meant that they won the drop. They gave it to the Deepkin. Deepkin took a point, and the Cahadron were unable to take any points back in that first turn. Second turn, Master Dave Kerr, the Ardeneth Deepkin, won the priority, chose to take it, and scored big. Now, that was a real big one for him there. Took the 1 point, but Kron managed to force his way back by retreating onto the objective. The third turn of the battle round, it went to the Cahadron. They took it, only scored a point, and Dave managed to sneak in for 3. Now, turn 4, we're here. The Cahadron took the top of turn 4, and on the stream right now, Mr. Dave Kerr is lying down. I believe he's committing some kind of ritual suicide.
So, what was cool? So we mentioned he had a plan. He had
had a
this
plan.
master site.
Yeah.
So if you look at the map that Scrivo has made for us, the the orb was here. He's retreated his thralls to this area here to roll the 6, and then the 4 plus
Right,
again, and that was his cunning plan.
Yeah.
He saw that as his only chance against this devastating shooting Dwarven force.
Yeah. And what happened instead?
And obviously we could see the greasy goblin has decided he's going to end up over here.
Oh dear. So I take it that Dave the Master Kerr, there's the handshake, has conceded at that point.
After he's flopped around on the table like a stranded fish.
Like a dead fish. All right, we are going to leave you. We'll come back to us at the desk super quickly, and then just to update how that one went. So, g'day everyone. Welcome back on the decks. An awesome game, but we have seen Dave the Master Kerr go down in the 4th round, which means that I'm guessing that means he's out of contention. We saw the winner of Cancon last year lose his first game yesterday. We've seen Dave the Master Kerr go down now. Swifthawk Agents went 3 major wins yesterday. I don't know how they're going. They're playing a Nagash list. Swifthawk Agents might right now be doing better than the last champ and the Master.
That's right. We heard in the beautiful Loved Robots roundup that the postman managed to cast a comet against Nagash.
Yeah, Nagash didn't dispel a comet that landed right next to him. He's like, oh, bugger. So this tournament is amazing. There's weird stuff going on. I don't know what game we're going to be bringing you next, but it's going to be spectacular. Because the Australian internet is made out of kangaroo intestines and koala fur, we are going to shut down between rounds. We will be coming back with a fresh, hot game in round 5. But don't forget, there are still 2 more games to go today, which is why Rob is now currently hooked up to an intravenous, pumping him full of tiger blood. We're going to cross super quickly to a quick interview with our winner. So take it away, Mr. Dan from AOS Shorts.
Hey guys, so as I said, we're joined with Alex here, the winner on table 1 in that last round. That's got to feel pretty good, mate.
Yeah, actually beat the Master, holy shit.
This is sunk in yet?
Not really, but it will later.
Yeah, okay, so really interesting matchup. Lots of shots from your side against all the tricks that the Deepkin can pull in the eels. What was your game plan going into it?
Just screening with the Arcanauts, screening with the Evocators, shooting with the Skyhawks. Come with the boat, do some damage.
And how did it go? Did you manage to execute the plan? Did you get what you wanted?
Halfway, yeah. He managed to snipe out the Chemist, took out half the Skyhawk shots, but managed to sandwich the eels between the 2 Stormcast. The boat survived, did its thing, finished off the Eidolons, yeah.
Oh, great to see. So, how have you found the army over the tournament? It's obviously going very well for you. You got 4 major wins. Is it playing as you wanted, or is there anything you'd change?
It's playing pretty good. I'm getting some good matchups. Not fought many Ideneth or Calibron yet. Yeah.
So what have you played so far, apart from the Deepkin?
Zench, first round. Fireslayer, second round. That was a really close match. Clan Skyer, and now Ideneth.
Nice, mate. Okay, well, best of luck. I'm sure you're going to get through the next couple of games. Really interesting to see if you get one of those daughters matchups there around the top table. Some Phoenix Temple. There's some big lists around there. Is there anything you don't want to face in the next 2 rounds?
Yeah, Calibron. Nagash should be hard. Definitely. Eagles, I don't know. I think I could take the Phoenixes because they're all flying. So, might have a chance. But Calibron, the moment I look at all those heroes, 5s to hit, what am I going to do?
Okay, well, we're going to see. We'll see how you get on. Best of luck. Congratulations on the victory. Well done, guys. And we're going to go back to the table now. Back to the stream, guys.
Shout out to GW Adelaide. Everyone at home.
Cool. And we are back over here on the decks. Lovely to have you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we are going to get the defeated master himself, Dave Kerr. I just went over and had a chat to him. And God, he's a legend. Even after a defeat, he's cracking wise. He is the standard Aussie larrikin and an absolutely beautiful human. So we're going to bring you Dave the Master right now. It looks like he's snacking.
Help yourself, mate.
Dave's working hard. Obviously needs some refreshment after that battle. Obviously,
Stress eating.
obviously not the result that you were looking for there, mate. How do you go? How do you feel? How was it?
No, look, it wasn't. These are really dry. I probably need some water.
Yeah, that probably would have been option number one.
Go for a break for like 10 seconds. I'm just going to run and get my water.
Sure. Okay, fine.
I could actually probably hydrate myself from the tears.
Yeah.
Um,
Tears are a good source of hydration, full of electrolytes and essential salts.
There's a few of them. Look, I've been chewing for a while now, so my mouth is a bit hydrated again, so we can continue. What was your question? Because I forgot.
The question was just reflections on the game, how it went. Like, obviously not the result that you were after. Was hard. Did you feel it was a hard matchup, or were you confident in the army that you were bringing in?
Look, I'm not going to lie. Last night when I looked at his list and this morning, I thought I was going to pump him. To be honest, it's Caradron. I've heard they're not meant to hit well. Apparently not when you're all flying.
Yeah, that's a bit of a killer.
And most of you dudes are heroes that actually do the cool stuff. So he's hitting on threes, rerolling ones, so he's just kind of like blew my mind a little. And he rerolls ones to win. He basically does my army, but from range. So yeah, total faux pas from me thinking that this was going to be an easy matchup and that I'd just control his shooting. Because I didn't. He's a stone cold killer. Like, he rolls 12 skyhooks and doesn't miss any. And I look at him expecting to see, like, you know that glimmer people get in their eye when they're just on some baller and they're just like, I'm going to kill you. I looked in his eyes and they were just flat. And I'm like, this kid has no soul.
It's that German efficiency, right? It's just solid
efficiency because he said that to me about 5 times. I was getting a little afraid by the end. I don't get intimidated easy, but that little kid is about half my size. I probably had Macca's meals bigger than him. Yeah, man, he just broke me. I asked him if he'd go gentle on me at the end. He didn't.
just all the way in, all the way to the end.
I asked him real nice. I think I just spat on you. I asked him real nice at the end if he could roll a 1 or a 6 so that the orb could bounce back.
Yep.
I don't know if you heard my genius plan, but I mean, the play was, it all went my way until the end, obviously, as you saw. The play was to put my thralls right at the back and then to roll a 1 or a 6 multiple times so that the orb bounced back into my quarter.
Yeah, that's a high percentage play.
That is. I thought so. So that was the play to win. Unfortunately, it didn't work out this time. But, you know, that's maths, I think.
Maths is a bitch.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Anyway, so the next guy's probably going to lose his soul, I don't know, in the next game against that dude. Yeah. He'll probably win. He's like this young blood coming up. He's probably going to hit me up at Masters and just like crush me in the first round or something. I don't know.
Well, this is clearly a broken man. We're going to have to watch the German machine rolling through the rest of the tournament. But thank you very much. It's been great, Dave. Great to see you. Now going to go back to the guys at the desk. See you guys.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah, what a dead set legend. Credit to him as well. So what we obviously have here at Cancon is we've got Mr. Dan from AOS Shorts, the machine programmed to love, and we've also got the Terminator sent back in time to murder hobbies. He's
the courage on.
Yeah, he's back here to smash face. That's why it's like Terminator 2. You've got Arnie, he's sent back to love and protect, and then you've got the liquid metal Terminator that's been sent back just to be stone-faced and wreck-faced. We are going to leave it there for right now. We will be back very shortly. Check all the social media pipes for when the next game comes live, and we'll be back. We'll bring you some sweet stuff, right?
That's right. If you go on the Honest Wargamer, look at the drop-down menus at the top. You can see Cancon 2019. You'll see their lists there. If you want to have a look at the guy that's just played, his name's Kron. Just search under the search menu.
Search either Kahadron or just misspell Kahadron and spell his name and potentially find them as well.
They'll bring up his list. If you want to look at Dave Kerr's list, look under Iden F or have a look around,
Yeah.
look at the lists.
And the workbook, give that a read. I think we can agree on one thing though. Wonderful that Dispossessed, even though they're not here, they're brothers in arms, the Kahadron.
They've sent their smaller brothers.
Yeah, it's always good to see some elves get messed up by some Duradin. And I'm very happy to see it. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back with Game 5. Game 5, not the final game though, because there will be a Game 6. We'll be back with that one very shortly.
Yeah, cheers.